Pump it up, pump it up.
Trae.
Come on, come on.
With Trae.
Pump it up, pump it up.
It's the day with Trae.
This is the day to gain inspiration, to make a positive change in the nation. We're inviting you to partake in conversation, to raise your vibration. It's the day that we will all celebrate all of our peeps that make this thing elevate. Watch the negative fade away, cause it's the day with Trae.
Grand Rising, everybody. Welcome to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. I get to welcome you to a fantastic Feel Good Friday. Because you know, anytime I got my good sis, Besa Gordon in the building, it's definitely feeling good up here in the Black Media Matter studios, y'all. And of course, this is our final episode of 2024. So I'm so glad I get to close out with Miss Besa Gordon, y'all. We're going to be talking all about her show launching on Fox. So yes, of course, taking Back to Besa to a national audience. And later on in the show, we'll be talking a bit about this season here on The Day with Trae and some things I'll be working on in December. So I'm so excited to have her join me, but I'm also excited that you're joining me, because not only are you joining me, but you now get to share this show with other folks who you feel could benefit from the daily dose of dopeness we work to give you here on The Day with Trae. And if you can't watch us, don't trip. We can always make sure that we got you covered in other areas, because you can listen to us, y'all, anywhere you find your favorite podcast. Just search Converge Media Network and The Day with Trae. You'll find me on your favorite platforms. Well, Besa and I got a lot to talk about. So up next, we got Besa Gordon, star in the building. What's up, Besa?
Hey, Trae.
Hey, it's so good to have you here closing out with me for 2024 for The Day with Trae. You're doing some great stuff, and I want to talk all about it. You know, Back to Besa has really been spotlighting phenomenal stories of folks that are right here in the Pacific Northwest, really doing big things. And it's so great because your show is always like, we're going to bring you right to the people.
Period.
Tell us a bit about, you know, season 2 and now taking it to a national audience at Fox Soul.
I think that season 2, one, thank you for having me here. I'm excited to close out the year on The Day with Trae with you. I think that season 2 has been a lot like season 1, but elevated, right? Season 1, you know, I think anything that you do, at least for me, this was new coming over from radio. You're kind of still getting your feet wet. Although we told some amazing stories, this year we did a lot more traveling, and especially around the Pacific Northwest. We told more stories over in Spokane this year. And I think that might be something that I really did enjoy this year, telling more stories in different parts of the Pacific Northwest. I don't remember who I was talking to the other day, but I was like, you know, actually it might have been Channing Curtis, who was still on in Spokane on the morning news at that time. I was like, a lot of times when people think about the Pacific Northwest, they only think about Black people being in Seattle. Mm-hmm. And with Back to Besa, we've been able to tell stories of the Black community over in Portland, and especially what they're doing within the Black community over in Spokane, to be able to spread that love and take it from Seattle, but actually just let people know, look, we're not just in Seattle. We're in Seattle, we're in Tacoma, we're in Lacey, we're in Spokane, we're in Portland, we're all over the Pacific Northwest, and we're all super dope. We all have amazing stories. We all have big history. And with this show, we're able to share out that history. And so I've just really been enjoying season 2.
Yeah. You know, I gotta say, like, it's so special because when we think about the things that we just have access to, because we're just in community, right? We go to a lot of different things. It's great because we recognize that our lived experience is now inspiring for other people. And I got to ask you about that, because now you have people hitting you up and telling you how great it was for you to showcase certain stories, you know, how they've been inspired, how they're like, oh my God, I know that person that you had on the show. Mm-hmm. Tell us a bit about that audience reaction to Back to Besa.
You know, I think the beauty of Back to Besa is that obviously the show is produced by Converge Media, right? But with it being produced by Converge Media, it allows us to take that same style Converge storytelling and put it on broadcast TV. One of the things that I've really been noticing, aside from someone being like, oh my God, thank you for showing my Auntie TT's coffee shop or whatever have you, it's our people being like, I've never seen myself like this on TV. You know, we have so many different stories that are told about our community, and it's not always positive. And then a lot of times, you know, with these news stations, they might go cover an event, but it's dry. You know, they have all the information there, but there's no emotion. There's nothing that you're taking from it. You're not, you know, going ups and downs and highs and lows and tears and joy. Like, we literally tell our community's story. And so I think the most beautiful reaction that I've gotten thus far is people just being like, not only was this amazing, I've never seen myself on TV like that. I've never seen my community on TV like that. Like, think of, you know, different segments that we've done, like Reunion on Union. You know, think about like when we went over to East Central Spokane to talk about the wall. A lot of people are going to go and be like, oh yeah, here's the wall. This is this person. This is that. We were able to talk with Lisa Gardner, the president of the NAACP, over in Spokane to talk about why that wall means so much to her, being that she's from East Central. So I think outside of people just being excited, a big thing that I've been hearing is people being like, thank you. We've never seen ourselves like this before.
You know, I agree. And I think that too, when we talk about the spirit of Converge, taking that to broadcast, there's something really special about, you know, some of the mottos that we have here, right? And we know Omari's always say, how we do anything is how we do everything, right? And we talk about the importance of, you know, we're tethered to this community. We're from this community. So the ways that we're going to come in and tell stories is really about not only us showcasing that impact, but being able to reflect on how it's impacting us. So I appreciate you for taking up the torch and saying, you know what, I'm going to put this hard work in day out. I'm going to make sure this show is tip top shape, because it matters to us that our people's stories are told and elevated in this phenomenal creative way. But I got to ask you about the crew you work with. I mean, we know, cause we have some phenomenal producers and videographers and editors here with Converge. Tell us about how you've been able to grow those relationships through Back to Besa.
You know, it's crazy. Our team goes deep. Like, I feel like I would start listing out everyone that's on the team, and I might accidentally forget someone because the team is so vast. I think that with working with the crew this season, we've all grown. Like, I'm doing better interviews. I'm seeing better footage coming out of our videographers. I'm seeing the edits even look different. I think that everyone's storytelling has evolved, which also, you know, it makes it to where we become closer. I mean, like, sometimes you'll have 3 or 4 shoots a day. You better hope that you like your production team, or else it's going to get really awkward having to tell those amazing stories, because, you know, we are, once we get on the ground, we're moving. It's like, yo, we need to do this. We need to do this. We got to get this done. We can laugh, kiki afterwards, but we got to get this story done. So I would say that it's definitely grown. You know, like, all of my videographers and producers, we all feel like, you know, we're family. It's like, hey, sis, are you ready to go do this? Sis, do you need a ride? Like, I guess you could say it's strengthened our relationship.
Yeah, I agree. And it's great because I'm so grateful for the opportunity. I've been able to produce a few segments for Back to Besa.
A few is an understatement, ma'am.
And it's just been wonderful to be able to say, you know what? Yeah, we all have this talent. But I think what we're talking about is that thorough line is in all of us, right? Like, we all care so much about the stories that we're telling. And this season, I mean, you're about to go on to Fox Soul National, and you're bringing a lot of folks with you. Of course, you got a little teaser for the folks, right?
Now, y'all know I always got a teaser, child. So look, yes, we are going to Fox Soul, but I'm not going by myself. So look, we're going to show you this little teaser. That way you can know who all is coming with me to Fox Soul.
By now, I'm sure you heard the news that Back to Besa is going nationwide on the Fox Soul Network. But just so you know, I'm not going by myself. I'm taking my Converge family with me. Expect to see Trae Holiday, Deontay Damper, Takia Ward, Curtis Delgado, and even G. Predge Ashby, all on air with me this season. Oh, and of course, you'll see yourself as we continue to uplift the very best of us from across the Pacific Northwest. Catch Back to Besa on Fox Soul every Saturday at 4 p.m. Pacific and 7 p.m. Eastern, starting December 7th.
Girl.
Because you coming with me too.
Hey. Well, you know what? I got to say that it's really been an honor, you know, right, to not only grow our relationship, but to watch how you're blossoming, Besa. And I get to give you those flowers right here on the Day with Trae. Thank you for being such a phenomenal community member and partner here at Converge, where you're like, look, this is about us all being able to be elevated and uplifted. Tell us about how important that is to you and why you find the need to ensure that this is an open door for others.
I think it's important because, although the show has my name on it, although I'm the one that sits in the seat, the show isn't necessarily about me. It's about our community. It's about what our community should look like to the general public. And especially now that we're going on a national platform, it's even more important for everyone's story to be told as naturally as possible. There are parts of community that you're in that I'm not necessarily a part of. Same with Deontay, Curtis, Prez, myself, with you all. It's important for us to have the full story told. And then also, even within the season of Back to Besa here in Seattle, I didn't do every story. Like you said, you've produced some things. T-Dub has produced things. Deontay's produced things. Prez, along with Curtis. So it wouldn't truly be the proper essence of Back to Besa if I were to just go over there by myself and do every single thing. Like, I think that the show would be missing some elements. Honestly, it would be missing that Pacific Northwest feel, because I'm not the only vibe that's here. Like, everything I like isn't everything that everyone likes. So I felt that it was important for everyone to still be a part of this. Plus, you all tell amazing stories. So why not bring those stories up here? It's a good story. People need to hear our stories. They need to see what it's like up here. And then, of course, we all work together in general. Like I've always said, 10 weeks, I'm gone. You guys stepped in for 4 weeks for you, 4 weeks for Deontay, T-Dub did a week, Curtis did a week. And on all of those weeks, you guys produced amazing things. I think that, people see me, but they don't realize it's about 40 of us almost. Like, that might be a little dramatic. It might be closer to about like 25 or 30, but there's a lot of us that make this show move. So of course, everyone needs to join me on this journey.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, girl, we are with you 100%, 1,000%, and so grateful for the opportunity. But also, like you said, we are all about telling our community stories. And I am so grateful because honestly, the inspiration that we're pouring out there for others to understand what life is like for Black folks in the Pacific Northwest, so they think we don't exist and all this other stuff. Girl, you're breaking barriers. So thank you so much for doing everything that you are doing to continue telling those great stories.
Thanks, Trae.
Of course. And congratulations on this national platform, girl. We're about to hit them hard.
Yo, if people didn't know what the PNW was like before, they're going to have an eye-opening. And I think that's what I'm loving the most, is that we're able to take this same Black joy that we've shown here to where there were people that were here didn't even understand that it was this dope, to where now we're going to show the entire country. So if someone's like, what's it like in Seattle? You better go on Foxhole and watch Back to Besa.
That's right.
She's going to show you.
That's right. That's right. Hey, y'all, this is phenomenal to be able to catch up with my good sis, Besa. And of course, after this short break, we get to wrap up a bit about what this season has meant. And for me, there's some great things ahead that I'm excited to share with you all right after this. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss it. You're watching The Day with Trae.
There's something magical, alchemical about being an artist. Being able to create, mold, envision, enlighten. This is a wonderful task. That's why I do it. My name is Joyce Shea Scott, and I'm having my 50-year retrospective Walk a Mile in My Dreams. Come on down.
Here on Back to Besa, it's always been important to me that we uplift stories from across the region, and that no matter where you live in the nation, you never have to miss a moment of the show as we continue to highlight the beauty, excellence, and resilience of our communities across the Pacific Northwest. Why? Because representation matters. So no matter where you live, be it the Central District or Centralia, Portland or Pullman, or anywhere across the country, I encourage you to join me on this Back to Besa journey by downloading the free Fox Local app on your phone or smart TV as we continue to elevate the very best in our communities. Ready to be intentional with your spending? Whether you're gifting it or using it for yourself, the Buy Black card allows you to shop at many different Black-owned businesses across the greater Seattle area, like Lava Latte, Dramer Ice Cream, Motis Beauty Supply, Pizza by Ruffin, The Spa House by Queen Care, and so many more. You can see the full list of participating businesses when you sign up for your Buy Black card at intentionalist.com. And thanks to our friends at BECU, you'll save 20% when you load your card. Spend like it matters with the Buy Black card.
Confused about Medicare? Solid Ground's statewide health insurance benefits advisor, Sheba, are well-trained volunteers who can help you understand your Medicare rights and options. It's free, unbiased, and confidential. We offer webinars and individual phone consultations. For more info, go to solid-ground.org/Medicare-info.
Welcome back, y'all, to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Joining me for my final episode of 2024 is, of course, Miss Besa Gordon. Now, Besa, you know, this season for the Day with Trae has really been phenomenal too. And as we think about wrapping up, you know, I want to thank you because you've been able to come here and share some phenomenal insight into all the things that you've been doing, but also I love how we were able to connect. I mean, some of the folks who I was able to interview here in the studio, we then went out to explore exactly what they do in community. And it was great. I mean, I'm going to tell you, the man uplift and seeing all those Black men in Tacoma, I mean, getting together, talking about their mental health, doing physical fitness, breaking bread. It was so phenomenal and impactful. Tell us a bit about how that story affected you.
I thought that story was beautiful because, as I always say, a lot of times, you know, people are like, oh, you're a man, toughen up. Why are you talking about your feelings? Stop crying. Go lift some weights. In this case, they lifted weights, they ate good, they prayed together, and they talked about their emotions. And I think that's how I would love for more men to just think of their lives and know that it's okay. Like, you can't have all this bottled up with you. Like, all of that creates tension within your own body. It's okay to talk about your feelings, but it's also okay to be vulnerable with your fellow men.
Yeah. You know, for me, there's always something that is guiding us towards specific stories. And I think about my father. You know, he died of a heart attack, and it was like, none of us were aware that he even had heart issues like that, right? And so it was so impactful for me because he was somebody who used to work out all the time and had, like, you know, a few of his homies that were like childhood friends. So you think, okay, yeah, you're good, but was he doing enough, you know, right? And so being able to not only be in a community of brothers who you can build with and bond with and actually have that trust for one another, it's so important. But I also think about it too in terms of the sisterhood. You know, the Queens of Converge, we've done a lot together, and it's been beautiful to be able to bond with all of you. You talked about this, everyone having their lane, right? And that's something that's really special here for the Day with Trae. So when we think about inspiring stories, it takes all kinds of realms for us to touch folks and touch their hearts. And it's something I've really been proud of here on the Day with Trae. And so I got to thank you for the contributions you've made to the Day with Trae this season as well, because it really is a showcasing of Converge family.
No, absolutely. I'm curious to know, you know, like, this is what, season 2 of the Day with Trae? How do you feel that you've grown even as a host from season 1?
It's a great question. And I think you know, something that you said about you in season 2, there is a greater sense of the stories we're telling. How are we getting to the stories and the facts and the nodes of those stories that are going to be impactful for the audience, right? Like, if I have 2 guests on an episode, right, they get about 12 minutes, right? So how much can I get in that 12 minutes? If I'm able to have a full episode with someone, how much can I get within that 24 minutes to really identify something that pulls a thread for someone else? And I think that's one of the things that I've been the most excited about, growing in, you know, my interview skills and just being able to connect with folks. And I'll say secondly too, that we've had a lot of guests come through that have really showcased to me that the experience we provide here in the Black Media Matters studios matters to them, right? It's not just about my interview style, conversational, getting them comfortable, but it's also about the greeting that they get at the door, us having snacks here, you know, always being mindful of their experience in the design that we create and curate for them. And so those are some of the things that really stand out to me. And I talked about it earlier this week, but just being able to have some youth on, get some young voices, because them kids be having something to say, girl.
They do, and they need a place to be able to say it and feel safe when they're saying it. Like, sometimes I think that kids go on certain shows and they feel like they can't speak candidly. They're able to come here and say what they have to say, and you're able to have that conversation with them to make them feel comfortable to open up and just kind of relax, and then all of a sudden you got the old heads learning from the kids, which is, it should be that way, but they need the space, and you give them that place to be able to do that.
Well, I'm grateful for it. And I tell you this much, when I talk about inspiration being the foundation for the Day with Trae, it's something that I'm grateful for, but it's also something that fuels me as a storyteller, right? Like we all have to have that thing that draws us to telling stories. And I think sometimes people see us or our personas and they're like, I don't know, they just do this like it's, so easy for them, but we care. Yep. And I just want people to also understand how important it is that we are here and we care, But I'm excited, girl. I got some things popping off for December I get to share with you.
I want to know more about it. I've heard some whispers and I've seen some posts. So, I'm going to just throw it to you because y'all know I'm nosy. Girl, what is going down in December? I know you have some trips coming up and one of them is not in this country.
Yeah, I'm really excited, y'all. So, this has been something for me where it's like, I have been wanting to get back to Kenya for over a decade now. And I finally have the opportunity that came my way to be one of the MCs for the Madaraka Festival there in Kenya. So I'm looking forward to being there, to not only coming back to Mombasa, also visiting Kisumu, which is where the Madaraka Festival is happening. But it's a great thing for me because I'm going to tell you, I think about stages and the ways that we turn up at concerts. Girl, you know how we get, don't matter if we're all the way on the continent or if we are right here in the States, we turn it up. And we know Omari knows a lot about it, all the countries he done been to in Africa. I'm just excited to get back because it always feels like home. Going back to Africa, any of the countries, it just feels like home for so many of us who were the descendants of those who were enslaved. Being able to touch that soil, girl, is so special. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be there. I'm looking forward to all of the connections I'll be able to make. I'm looking forward to telling some of those stories as well. So I want people to be on the lookout because we're definitely going to be sharing the experience with everybody.
I'm going to need for you to make sure you bring your iPhone with you. You keep the little lens clean. I want to see the footage.
Yeah.
I need to see the footage from on that stage because I already know that is going to be such a powerfully energetic moment. Yeah. Like, it's one thing when I'm on stages here in Seattle and everyone's like roaring, but I can only imagine what that stage is going to feel like when that crowd is making all that noise and you're able to soak in all that good energy.
Yeah, the great thing too is we've been able to see Madaraka Festival right here in Seattle, and I was so blown away. I'm like, oh my God, Bennett Royal Hall was packed. There was like no seats left. And I remember going, oh my goodness, like this is phenomenal. Everybody up out their seat, rocking hard. So I'm definitely up for an energetic experience. And for those of you who know me, girl, I'm gonna have to drink my yerba mate. I'm gonna need all the energy. I'm gonna need it all, Besa, because I'm gonna tell y'all right now, my nightlife has not been the same since being a mother, okay? So like I need to turn it up, get my energy right so I can be there with the crowd. So I'm telling you, it's definitely something that I'll make sure I capture for all of those to see, especially you, my friend.
Please do. Please do. I have been having the itch to go back ever since I came back from Tanzania. And I'm just like, it really does feel like home. Like you feel like you've been there before, which is the craziest thing to go to a completely different continent and be like, I don't know why, but I feel like I've been here before. Maybe it was 2 months ago. I don't know.
Yeah. See, it's in our DNA. It remembers things, right? Well, I just got to thank you, girl, for being with me on my last episode of 2024, helping me to wrap up the day with Trae, and of course, to celebrate you in the national launch of Back to Besa on Fox. So thanks for everything you do. And I can't wait to continue collaborating, girl. They're going to see more of us.
No, period. I mean, first of all, we ain't going nowhere.
That's right.
And second of all, I'm very excited for us to like have some meetings and talk about the different stories that we're able to not only continue telling, but now tell to a national audience.
Yeah.
So thank you for having me on your last episode. I can't wait to see what comes on to the Day with Trae come January. I mean, shoot, this year was great, but let's be honest, all we do is get better each and every time. Each and every time we get better. So I already know that January is going to be amazing. You're about to take this time to recharge, and I'm excited for you, sis.
Yay, thank you, Boosh. Oh my God, y'all. You know it's always a love fest when Besa is here on the Day with Trae with me. You know, and I gotta say, I'm so grateful to all of you for being here with me. You know, I'm gonna wrap this up all the way right after this short break. Stay tuned. You're watching the Day with Trae.
MLK Lobby Day brings the power of community voices to Olympia. Join Poverty Action as we advocate for policies that will clear the way out of poverty and tell legislators what is most important to you. Save the date, January 20th, 2025. Sign up to stay updated at povertyaction.com/newsletters.
Disney and Cameron Mackintosh's Mary Poppins comes to life on stage at the Fifth Avenue Theatre, featuring Step in Time and Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Make it a jolly holiday at Mary Poppins. For tickets, visit fifthavenue.org.
My hair is definitely unique in the rodeo industry, and not a lot of girls wear their natural hairstyle. And since I do, it makes it a lot harder to find equipment that fits my head the right way. When I speak about being unique, that's what I mean is why should we have to change our hairstyle for safety maybe? Why can't they create something for us to be ourselves in and still be safe on the trails? You don't have to change the way you look because you're beautiful the way you are.
Back to the Future is coming to Seattle.
1955?
If they don't meet, they won't fall in love, they won't get married, and neither you nor your siblings will ever be born.
Whoa, this is heavy. Experience the award-winning Best Musical, Back to the Future, at the Paramount Theater December 10th to 22nd. Get your tickets yesterday.
Empowering the community one connection at a time. ConnectWise, your partner in finding the support you need. Download the app today and experience the difference that a connected community can make. Learn more at eec-wa.org/connectwa-app.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Huge shout out, of course, to my guest, Besa Gordon, for being here and also for the impact that Back to Besa is making, not only for the Pacific Northwest, but bringing this now to a national audience. Y'all definitely don't want to miss that. It is coming up tomorrow, y'all. That's right. This Saturday, we will get that launch. Oh, my goodness, on Fox Soul, taking this to national audiences so we can continue to spread the inspiration of the Pacific Northwest stories throughout the nation and beyond. And huge shout out to all of you for joining me this season here on the Day with Trae. You know, it's truly been a phenomenal experience to continue to provide a platform that allows folks to come and share stories that oftentimes would not be told. And that is one of the things that is always going to be a tried and true for us here on the Day with Trae. We want to continue to be that space where people can actually come here, share what they're doing, get us all engaged and involved and inspired. And honestly, I'm grateful to all of you, not only for sharing this show, but for watching, for all the love you've poured in, all of the DMs, all of the emails, the things that come through, because we know that we're doing some great work here by uplifting stories that matter to us, that also we see resonate with you all. So I'm so grateful to my entire Converge Media family and all of the guests we've had on this entire year. Shout out to everyone who has really helped to make this truly a special gem in our community. And you know, I'm looking forward to being back with you all in the next season of The Day with Trae. Stay tuned as we continue to elevate, uplift, and inspire. Thanks so much for watching, y'all. Until next season, peace. Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.